Gamefam under fire? It is Friday, December the 16th, 2022. Roblox news starts right now. Gamefam Studios under fire. Multiple controversies surrounding this studio. What is going on? What we'll break it down for you. We'll explain to you what the reactions to each of these things are, and we will tell you everything you need to know about Gamefam under fire, the multiple controversies surrounding this studio, including their partnership with Sonic, and the responses to certain people coming out about their experiences. We will tell you about what all this means and more. Roblox news, or a special edition of Roblox news, starts right now. Now, before we get into this, I would like to make a disclaimer. All allegations made towards Gamefam in this video and across all of these posts are alleged, meaning they have not been proven in a court of law. Also, please do not send hate to anyone. This includes Gamefam themselves and others mentioned here. Sending hate only makes things worse, so please don't send hate to anyone. Even the people who have posted these things trashing Gamefam have also said, please do not send hate. It just only makes things worse. With that out of the way, on to today's episode. Alright, we gotta get straight into this because this is big. Hello everyone, welcome to Roblox News. Thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. So, we do have to get in. So before we get into this, I would like to say, okay. So regarding the upload schedule for the next few weeks, because it's the holidays. The 23rd and the 30th, I will definitely not be uploading. I can say that for certain. So this will be the last Roblox news video of the year. So Happy New Year. And also, the 6th and beyond, I'm not 100% certain of. Because, see, I am getting a new computer soon. It's a gaming computer. It's a big upgrade to what I have now. But what this means is that I am going to have to transfer everything over to this new computer, including all of the Roblox news graphics, all of the live stream graphics, all the transitions, everything that makes these videos work. I have to transfer. And while it is I am very excited to have a gaming computer. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get everything up and running in time. So who knows? I could have a video that's completely back to normal. I could have it nerfed, not with all the graphics and stuff, and or I could just not have the upload yet. It really depends on a lot of things. So, if you'd like to stay up to date or figure out, or if you'd like to stay up to date for whenever this happens next, be sure to subscribe. It also means a lot to me. So, now with that out of the way, let's get actually into the video. Okay. So, let's start off with Gamefam themselves. So, Gamefam is a company that owns a bunch of Roblox games, and a bunch of other games too. And they they make these, they own these. They basically buy out these games from developers, and then make them their own, which is not the best because it's kind of like the developers are desperate, so they kind of just do it without really thinking about it. But so on their website they have this: our Roblox games. And you can see all these games. You can see Maple Hospital, Sonic Speed, Maple Hospital. If you remember the cancer updates out now. Sonic Speed Simulator, Funky Friday, a bunch of other games. There's a bunch of games, as you can see, with a bunch of visits, starving artists, um, all these random games that seems like you would not expect to be owned by like a company, and they just own all these games, each of them with varying player counts and stuff like that. They own Death Run and others too. 24K Golden They own the 24. They own these concerts. That does not make sense. So yeah, you can basically see they have a lot of games. Also, or Mining Tycoon, 1 million visits, one concurrent player. Um. Anyway, so as you can see, they own a lot of games. So, where this stems from is Sonic Speed Simulator. So Sonic Speed Simulator, which is licensed officially by Sonic, but is not developed by them. So it's actually like decent. Like it's not just some really bad just advertisement effectively called an event. It is actually a decent game. It has a pretty good like to dislike ratio. Um And now, what they have done is they have, Sega has like licensed them to host a premiere of a Sonic Prime, which is going to go out on Netflix early in that Roblox game, which is really cool. And yes, it has gotten some Sonic fans that don't play Roblox upset because they don't want to start playing Roblox just so they can watch Sonic early. Um, so, but either way, it's pretty cool at the end of the day. Um, but now where this stems from, or now where the real drama stems from, is this tweet right here, which came out by Gamefam Studios, on December 9th, and that is. Sonic Prime integration. In addition to Sonic Prime airing in Sonic Speed Simulator, there will also be limited time integrations in the following games: Weapon Fighting Simulator, Starving Artist, and then this is the big one, Funky Friday. So this is a problem because Funky Friday is an unofficial game. It is an unofficial game inspired by Friday Night Funkin', which is its own standalone game. And its developers are open to allow people to kind of make their own fan-made versions. It seems like they draw the line when they end up getting official collaborations with Sonic. um to this to this, then Ninja Muffin, who is a creator of Friday Night Funkin', or Phantom Arcade, which is another creator, saying, lol? And then Ninja Muffin saying, "You're right, Dave, let's consult our lawyers about our options." Um, which is not, is not the kind of response you would imagine getting, like me, who just got logged out. Be right back. I really need 2 monitors. Anyway, um, so, um, this is not the kind of thing that's like good. And it's not the kind of good thing. And then just to mention, without even saying it, this guy ratioed this to of the original announcement almost by double. Like it was about 600 off from just being double. Or about it was about if this thing was 3,000 likes less, then this would be double, which is kind of funny. They got ratioed hard. um, um, so, okay, this is not the kind of thing to come from an official Friday Night Funkin' developer when Funky Friday is included. So you can tell that they are not enjoying this. Um, he also he also tweeted this ratio plus Saul and just and ratioed him even harder. Wait, was this an actual ratio? Hold on. I'm really not the best at math. It, it, close. That's funny. Um, anyway, so basically, he kind of went on and on about this. And then until this happened, I gotta zoom in because the replies are well. Let me just bada boom. Um. Anyway, anyway. Um. So. Um. So some guy said. So some guy quote tweeted this saying this is an obvious joke. Why do people believe this? Guy replied, "It's not." And people are going crazy. What? What? And anyway, so you know, people are saying, um, you know, so someone had said, if you're unsure why Funky Friday's Sega collab is a bigger deal than mobile Friday Night Funkin' ripoffs and bootleg plushies, this is the definition. By collabing officially with Sega, people not in the Friday Night Funkin' community will automatically assume Funky Friday's an official FNF game, just like this. And then they quote tweeted this animated, seems like Sonic the Hedgehog, okay? Sonic the Hedge blog, my bad. So where they said part of the Sonic Prime event also expands to other Roblox games, and it's weird. Funky Friday is a licensed Friday Night Funkin' game for Roblox. It also has Sonic EXE in there, and I watched someone play Sonic Heroes Bingo Highway in Sonic Schoolhouse. This is where it's wrong. People assume that this is a licensed Friday Night Funkin' game. It's not. It's just a fan-made game. So, people are. This is the big problem. So that's weird. Um, yeah. So, mm, you know, we. This is not good. So, they say and then he says, disclaimer, I can't give you the full play-by-play legal breakdown. I'm not a lawyer. If you have questions, though, can toss them to me, and I'll toss them to the lawyer. And legal stuff. So he said in talks with lawyers a few months back, we're also talking about modifying some other stuff. This is also in relation to this thing. It's talking about, this stuff. This is really confusing, so I'm trying to simplify it down. So basically, talking about, so in reply to a tweet, saying, like, he seems okay with people taking people selling stuff. He's okay with donations on off of FNF stuff, such as like fan made games and stuff. He said selling things is a bit more iffy, but that's his opinion. Not a license or anything. People making fan art and selling at conventions also swag, but then people mass producing bad Redbubble stuff make me angry. So yeah, he is a little annoyed about this. But so that is the whole controversy with this. he so he said this. So he said this then on Twitter, and also so that you can get your screenshots or whatever to send to your friends. Friday Night Funkin' and the Funkin' Crew Inc. Are not associated with Roblox, Funky Friday, Sonic, or anything like that. All that stuff is bootleg, fan made, unlicensed, etc. So, you know, people are people have he has to make that announcement, which is not great, and you know um so basically this is not good, and people are upset, and he actually is looking at a or he at least was at one point looking at a DMCA, saying you know so he's saying that it's like a cat and mouse game to try to get these games off and stuff like that. And then he said for Roblox DMCAing, you have to specifically send them an email, and then assuming you don't have it all clean and professional, probably reject it or toss it to the side. So, this is not the best situation. This is a bad thing. He had actually said people making fan games is all good. Here, let me just show this. So, people making fan games all good and cool. I tried some of the other FNF Roblox clones and I had fun with them. Literally FNF I think I played, which is cool. And then adding these weird scummy microtransaction shenanigans is nasty to us, though, along with having this weird tie to other official stuff. Yeah, so he's not necessarily upset about, the people people like creating these games and stuff. He draws the line at the microtransactions and then the, Sonic. Okay. So that is the whole controversy with Ninja Muffin. And then Gamefam Studios has then come under more fire when Digital Purgatory, which is an ex-developer at Gamefam, posted this tweet saying, coming out with my experiences on GameFam, read, and then link to a twit longer, which we'll read in a second. He also said, don't harass GameFam, and then also a coworker is also, is also looking for a job. So, along with him. So, here is the twit longer. So, let's go through this all. I'm going to zoom in so that we can actually read this. Okay, coming out with my experiences on GameFam. To begin with this whole situation with GameFam, they're a predatory company that tries to create a monopoly on the Roblox site by buying out games and integrating them into their company. I would not generally trust them if they approach you with an offer to advertise your game, especially now of all times. Not only try to create a monopoly, but they underpay some of their positions in this market. Some 3D artists like me are paid $17 an hour with a salary of $30,000 a year. In this industry, most of the standard is at least $35 an hour with a salary of $75,000. And just for the reference, that is a big difference. $17 an hour versus $35 an hour, 30,000, 75,000. That is a big difference. And that the 35 is generally what you would get for a 3D artist. So, that, and just imagine, I don't know, they work for like I don't know, work for like 8 hours a day, something like that. You would work for like 8 hours a day. That's $280 a day. So, that's a lot for the $35 an hour. So while I was employed under GameFam, it was a constant struggle due to heavy crunching in the development team because we were mandated to update Sonic Speed Simulator every week. This was a heavy toll on my mental and physical self because I had to devote a lot of time to not just the development of the game, but also because I take care of my dad. And I tried to explain this to the team and higher ups, and they mostly understood my situation. I was eventually cut from full time to half time hours without any notice. They have absolutely no communication when it comes to decisions. And when I tried speaking about the matter as professionally as I could with human resources, I was basically just ghosted. uh, Essentially, I slaved away every week, working the nights while also taking care of my dad, who has complications due to reasons, putting in my best effort and work into every task just to be belittled and ignored and put on half-time, cutting my pay in half. So not only do I go from 17 an hour, which is not even half the salary of a 3D artist, I get cut in half even more. At that point, that's just more than robbing me of my time and money. At the end of October, I ended up working on the Warhog update for Sonic Speed Simulator. I worked hard to get the animations to the highest quality that I could. When I submit my work to be used in the game, I get a notice that I was terminated from the company, and that I didn't even notice until next Monday to check my tasks for the week. And to add insult to injury, they show off the last asset I heavily worked on their Twitter here. And then they link this tweet saying, check out this exclusive behind the scenes video from how we got we did the rig setup from Warhog in the recent Sonic Speed update. So you can see they just posted that. And now you can also see they've changed the who can replies to only people who they've mentioned. And before, at one point, people were able to reply. So now, definitely, they did it. There's a lot of controversy, and they're trying to avoid it. You can definitely tell that. Anyway, back to the tweet longer. I'm still struggling financially to support my dad and family financially because of this. Too long didn't read. Gamefam is a predatory company that underpays their employees, has basically any to zero barely any to zero communication with their employees. Okay, let's digest all of that. So, the TLDR does a good job of digesting it, but let's just make it a TLDR but longer. So basically, first off, they underpay by more than half. Or half. Math. Half. Technically a bit less than half. Because technically half would be $17.50. So, already not good. And then they were mandated to develop or to update Sonic Speed Simulator every week, which that takes a toll on yourself. And while weekly updates, that's good and all, but if you're gonna overwork your employees, then that's not going to be good for the long term. And because of the fact that they're they're employees, they're paid, all that kind of stuff, it's not like you can just, burn out and stop. This is your job. I mean, you can quit, but, then it's not easy to come back. So, yeah. This is already a bad situation. And then this person in particular was also in the jeopardy because they had to take care of their dad, which that then makes it so much harder. They tell the higher ups about this and they seem to understand it, but then what they proceed to do is cut their hours in half, then dropping their pay in half, which makes it even less than the already little amount that they got, which is just sad. It's just terrible. So they basically got like probably around $8 an hour or so, which is in $15,000 a year, which is not livable. Is really hard to live on, especially while also having to take care of your dad. And so you know, they they are and then after all of that, they then proceed to make something. They then proceed to show off that thing and also terminate them from the company at the same time. Terminate, not like banned off of Roblox, no. Terminating, aka fired. Um, so terrible. And then Gamefam Studios proceeded to make a statement regarding of events surrounding Gamefam. They also on the tweet originally they on the tweet they turned replies again to only people mentioned and there's nobody mentioned. That's basically a way of turning off the replies. So yeah, this this that's already a bit scummy because I get it trying to avoid all the controversy, but you could have gone around it in a better way. Um anyway, so this statement is a bunch of garbage, but we're gonna read it anyway. Um and feel free to laugh along too. On Monday, following one of our biggest weekends ever, where we broke records and achieved new heights of creativity, we wanted to take a moment to celebrate our company, our team, and our history of delivering amazing experiences for amazing communities within a healthy, happy studio. Ironic. We wanted to share a bit more about how we operate this wonderful little company. Wonderful. When we started GameFam almost 4 years ago, our intention was to combine veteran career game developers with the most incredible Gen Z native Roblox creators to build never before imagined horizons in gaming. We are accompanied by gamers for gamers, and now with a team of over 230 creators here, earning salaries, bonuses, stock options, and benefits, we've accomplished so much, but we have so much left to do. To achieve our dreams, we've always recognized the need to have an equitably compensated team with long term career growth potential. We have taken that commitment seriously and instituted rigorous compensation practices to ensure that we fairly compensate every member at the company. We pay our devs equitably and prioritize a happy, healthy work environment with tremendous support and flexibility for our teams. These are our values and we live by them. One of the most proud accomplishments is our hiring from referrals by team members to their friends. That is a testament to our positive culture and that people see themselves here for the long term. We're saddened by the outpouring of viral, or I don't know, directed against our team members who do nothing but work in the service of delighting players around the world. Please respect our developers and know that they are hardworking, wonderful people who want nothing but positivity in their lives. This part is probably the only part where they actually have a brain. Yes, please do not direct hate at the developers themselves. They are working hard, trying to trying to develop. Attacking them is not the ones that you're supposed to attack. You attack GameFam themselves, not the developers behind them. That is the only logical thing. Everything else is just straight up garbage. Our people are our number one priority. We have an open book policy, and team members are welcome to voice any concerns they may have. Our leadership team has open DMs which are easily available to all team members. We take culture feedback very seriously and are always looking for continued improvement to ensure that GameFam is the best place to work in the metaverse. We are very proud of the work we do and the company we have built together. Here's some facts about working at GameFam. Salary, stock options, and quarterly bonus payouts for full-time team members around the world. Flexible schedule with no mandated working hours. Global remote workforce with no obligation to be in an in-person office. Unlimited paid time off. Continuous market compensation analysis and adjustments. Transparency seniority and career planning with career guidance for promotion, with clear guidelines for promotions, 230 plus full-time team members, easy access to company leadership with an open door policy, coaching available for all team members, celebration of company wins at quarterly all hands global meetings. I mean, I don't really see how that's like a good fact or something. Like here's why you should work at us. We celebrate whenever we win. Um, Ongoing travel and in-person collaboration opportunities. There have been no layoffs recently or ever at GameFam. In fact, we are hiring to support growth. TLDR, we live for and love our teammates and our community, and we're committed to creating an environment where where everyone can thrive, and we're doing it. Thank you for being our friends, players, and most importantly, our teammates and excellence. Okay, I got logged out again. Hold on. Don't know how I managed to do that twice now. Anyway, so, um, okay, so let's just digest this real quick. So basically, you know, they basically all this is saying is that we are proud of what we have done, and we're a great place to work at, and have not addressed and basically have like vaguely addressed these things and basically denied them. They they aren't they aren't like doing anything to try to explain what's going on. This is just not good. And people, I'm sure, would be smashing them to pieces if they hadn't turned their replies off. Um, so, that's already a pretty bad thing to do. So, yeah, this whole thing is terrible. So, then somebody had and then another person had quote tweeted the person who made that original coming out with my experience. They said they're the GameFam employee who brought Digi and the rest of the Sonic simulator on. While at GameFam, I was fired with no notice and encouraged to work for free for a week with no compensation. This is their story. Sonic Simulator Team, you get the idea. But yeah, this was a tough one to write. If you give this a rating of your own experiences to share, please do. I think it's important at this point for as many people to be heard as possible. So that's what they had said. Now, on to which already, just to get started, already is not a good sign. If the fact that it's hard to write is already a bad sign. So yeah, let's get into their twit longer, which they have also, which is the same thing they made. Okay, here we go. Hi, I'm Alice, Roblox user Guns Bullets. I was an employee of GameFam for 4 months until 2021, and I'd like to write here about my questionable experiences while their employee, including being fired under false pretenses and led on to work for free for an entire week. I'm a generalist developer who's been working on games for years, a former accelerator intern, and a frequent RDC attendee since 2018. And then they link their Roblox profile, which let's check out. So Guns Bullets, you can see Roblox Summer Accelerator Intern 2018. I kind of like their avatar. They've made a few different games. Each have gotten this one has gotten 92,000 visits, so they know what they're talking about. They're a builder, scripter, animator, designer, visual artist, and a game developer. They joined in 2011, and yeah, so they are doing good. That's a lot of Robux. Anyway, on to the twit longer. So that's the wrong twit longer. My bad. Okay. In August 2021, I was interviewed by the CEO of Gamefam for an associate producer position, something I was encouraged to apply for despite asking them for open artist positions, something I found odd but not too out of the way since I had decent production experience. The interview the interview arguably too well. The CEO pointed out multiple times how bringing on more women to their team was exciting. I left the first interview with a job and was excited to get started. I was given a starting salary of $55,000 a year with health benefits, something that I initially found to be generous. Later on, I would not say it accurately reflected the proportion of work that was asked of me in any way. At first, I was tasked with taking over an existing game from an employee that had been moved to another project, where I was asked to manage a team of Turkish game developers entirely new to the Roblox platform. This has become an important trend. I would spend each day checking in with them on the present project state, planning for the future, communicating with investors, my own bosses, and more. It was a full-time job by itself. My first month or so at Gamefam went decently well. Started going downhill when I was given a second project to become producer of, as I was told most producers at the company did. I was an associate producer at this point, it's important to note. The project was ambitious and to be created from the ground up on top of regular producer responsibilities. I was given the task of teaching an entire team of artists and programmers who'd never touched Roblox before how to use every single relevant aspect of Roblox Studio. This is really hard. All these wonderful developers were also speaking English as a second or third language in countries across the world, making time and language barriers add even more challenge to the work. It was at this point that I began falling behind on both projects due to the immense amount of work on my plate, while my higher-ups only offered sympathy comparisons to their own unfairly high workloads and comparisons to my coworkers. One such comparison was that my boss telling me a fellow producer stayed up for an entire week before his project launched, implying that I should be more like him. Which, to say, that is not good. That is not if you haven't caught that already. Saying, my coworker or your coworker stayed up for a whole week just to get the project, so you should do that too. No. First off, that coworker should not have done that. If it was on their own accord or they were falling behind or something, still not great. But especially if it was kind of forced, then that's definitely not good. Um, Either way, that's still you don't use that as your coworker shows all this devotion to the company, you should too. No, that's not how it works. Um, okay, now I'm gonna attempt to do to to try to follow to try to do everything. Follow. On a Monday mid-December, I woke up to start work and was locked out of my work email. This had happened frequently before, so I assumed it was a technical issue and asked human resources. I was told passive aggressively to talk to your boss. Smiley face. Um, by this HR rep. I am told she is no longer with Gamefam. I reached out to my bosses, and it was 6 entire hours before I was given any acknowledgement. This acknowledgement was only a link to a Google Meet, which I was told to join. I was met by the CEO and both higher-ups that I reported to. This is where I lose my mind. The CEO tells me that I was fired that weekend, and the first I'm hearing it for it. The reason? Leaking company secrets. When I asked what led him to believe this, I was told he had no proof, but that it was the only explanation for my lack of productivity. I was devastated. Everyone around me knew how hard I worked for this company that was completely overworking me to the bone. When I informed the CEO that I had no second job, like he'd said, his only response was a sure, "Oh, okay," and promised me either severance if I wished to leave, or he could reinstate me with a new contract. I was the only person leading both teams I was responsible for, so I felt a burden to keep them taken care of and not to abandon them. So I begrudgingly, agreed to continue working until the aforementioned contract came in. Um, I was to continue work on my projects as normal with increased help. This help never came. Instead, I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday that week with no contract, no email, and no word on how much I'd even be compensated for that time. Each day I'd ask my bosses what had happening with the contract or how much I'd be compensated for my unchanged workload. None of these questions would go answered. On Thursday, I was even told that I need to watch my tone and be grateful I was even being given a chance. It was at the end of the week that I said my last goodbyes and chose not to come back. I never received any of the severance I was promised in my original firing meeting with the CEO, or any compensation for that last week of work. In many ways, it was my fault for agreeing to work without a contract in the first place. I want to add that GameFam employs a lot of incredibly hardworking developers from all over the world, of all levels of experience, and they don't deserve, not that word again, for corporate decisions. I guess it's like hate. For corporate decisions. If you want to make change, focus your attention on the top of the pyramid, where it matters most. The developers of companies like GameFam are usually the ones already suffering enough. I've spoken to many current GameFam employees, and I'm told things are better. I hope this is true, but I've heard enough to have my doubts. All I mean to do with this message is to share my story and encourage other GameFam employees who've had similar experiences to do the same. Thank you, everyone, for reading. Okay, let's go over this. Man, this is kind of crazy. And this is like the way that they had. Okay, let's start from the beginning here. They didn't include a TLDR, but I will make one for us. So, okay. Um So first off, he'd gotten the job, was already underpaid. It didn't include what the general salary is. I'm not sure exactly what that general salary would be for that position, but still, um, and it still is not like accurately reflecting the amount that he or she worked. So they also were assigned to work with people who did not speak and who didn't know a lot of English. Um, and so it was that's already hard because of time, especially if they live in Turkey, time barriers, language barriers, and they didn't even know how to do Roblox, so that's also barriers because you have to teach them everything, and you kind of like have to think like what kind of stuff would they need, because like there might be some stuff that you just don't teach them because you're like, oh, you wouldn't need that, or just you didn't think of it. And, now they're confused and stuff like that. So, already pretty hard. So then they became a second project to become producer of, which apparently is what most producers did. It was created from the ground up, and they also had to teach another team of artists and programmers how to use Roblox Studio entirely. And we're also speaking English as a second or third language in countries across the world. So that also creates a lot of time barriers, because if there's countries across the world, that means most likely you can't gather them all together, because some people will be sleeping, some people will be awake, and it's really hard to manage your time. And then already there's the language barriers, and then also the whole teaching someone how to use Roblox Studio and the unforeseen things that might end up coming up, already not great. Randomly gets locked out of their work email. Got nothing. They just thought it was some glitch thing. Got a talked to human resources, and had gotten a talk to your boss in like a passive aggressive way. And they had just scheduled them with a Google Meet with the CEO to tell them, yeah, you're fired. And they didn't get any kind of communication beforehand. The reason was leaking company secrets. They and the CEO told him that he had no proof, but it was the only explanation for their lack of productivity. Now, this is also where I say all of this stuff is alleged and has not been proven in a court of law. It just has not been proven. So take this with take a lot of these, take all the allegations made towards them with a grain of salt. Allegations, accusations, whatever. Um, so they they had then promised severance, which I'm not 100% sure. Which is here. Let me which severance I've heard of it. Something that you can get mm, if you get fired or something. So Um, so the dismissal for or discharge from employment, it's kind of like some money while you're trying to find another job. They're offered severance, or they could reinstate me with a new contract. Then they proceeded to make them work their same workload for a week out of a contract while they were quote unquote developing a contract. And so they worked without a contract, didn't get paid at all, and didn't get told at all when their contract was going to be made. So they decided to quit, and they never got that severance. Um, so basically that is bad. That is not good. That is bad conditions. So all of this sparked a lot of controversy. It's really one-sided, and that side is just the really this is one-sided, and that one side is all against Gamefam. Um so people are all basically people are this is kind of gone kind of crazy. And Gamefam has kind of been under a lot of fire, and that's why I am literally just and that's why I'm literally just making today the whole episode. Literally, this has been 50 minutes. This would have not been able to be just one story in a full episode. So yeah. Okay, with that being out of the way, or with that all out of the way, I'd like to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. I you just let us know what you think and what you have to say about this. And don't worry, you can write an essay. I'll read it. I'll read every single one of your comments, and I'll try my best to respond to all of them, or or at least hearting them. Um, so I'd like to hear what you guys think about this. Be sure to leave a comment down below. Be sure to like the video if you'd like to spread it around. If you don't want to spread it around, or you don't care too much about it, first off, I don't know how you've made it this far, but you know, if you didn't like it, you don't have to like it. And so um if you did make it this far, chances are you'll like my other stuff. So if you do, you can check it out, and while you're there, maybe you could subscribe. I mean, you don't have to, but it would be very cool of you. So, yep. And yeah, so like, subscribe, comment, all those things that I'm supposed to say, but you don't actually have to do. So, just only do it if you enjoyed it, because if you subscribe and then never watch my stuff again, that'll actually hurt me more than help me. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all in the next video. Hopefully January the 6th, but no promises. And who knows? Maybe like the graphics you'll see a graphics difference. Um. When I next do Roblox news. So thank you so much for watching. Sorry for the late upload, and I will see you all very, very soon, shortly. I will see you all eventually. Bye bye!